Welcome to Athena's Listening Crew. It's another episode of Trailblazers and Chasers. I'm Lina.
Yay. I'm Renee.
Hey, friend. How are you?
I am surviving. I'm doing great. I'm channeling positivity, even though I'm roasting. I'm roasting right now, but I'm trying to channel the positivity because we've got like 3 months of this. That sun, whew, as much as we love it in the wintertime here in Arizona,
It's
it's a bit much.
blazing. It's talking about trailblazers. It's sun blazing out there right now because
Oh,
it's hot. The problem is also we don't have much coverage.
mm-mm.
It's not cloudy. It's clear blue skies, and we don't have many trees that help with the coverage. So it's like right on you.
And one thing that's funny is like I think every area has a behavior that you don't realize you actually are doing it until you move somewhere else. So like when I moved from here to Washington or from here to Oregon, there were some things I started doing right off the bat that I think looked weird to everyone else. Like because I moved in the cooler season, I went straight looking for the shade. Like I would park my truck in the shade. Like I would not even park close. I went straight to the shade without even thinking. And that they just don't really do that there. Like here, it becomes an automatic. You park where you can get shade.
I know, and it's usually just a little piece. It's usually like way in the back of the parking lot, furthest away from the door, and a little tiny tree is like providing enough shade. Yeah, it's
Yeah, because it's one of those I'm not parked in the shade right now. And I just right before this, I was in a good mood, but I ran out to throw something in the back of my truck and I had to open up the truck cover and I burned myself on it. And I'm like, oh, I so hate this season. You're constantly like burning yourself on your vehicle. Like, right.
yeah, you can fry an egg on it for sure.
Whew. Yes. But whew, we're good. We're channeling. I've got my drink, and today I have, and unfortunately, I forgot to make ice. So, but I have coconut rum and orange juice, which is
Mm.
something I think I started drinking when I was 18 and went to the first stop was London. So, as an 18-year-old American, realizing I can drink now in public, that was the first, that's where this drink started. Though it had a little bit of cranberry juice in it, that's where that started.
Nice. It's actually a
Yeah.
nice Sunday brunch drink.
Mm-hmm.
OJ and a little bit of rum.
Mm-hmm.
Coconutty.
Yeah. A little
Yeah.
fruity. What you got going on?
I have mm, I have it's Chardonnay. I don't normally drink Chardonnay, but later in this segment, I'm going to talk about where I got this Chardonnay from.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because I really like her version of it. And yeah, that's what I have. This wine glass here.
Ooh,
Do you
that's a
ever,
tall stem.
yes. So if you heard of the television show Scandal, like
Yes,
with
heard of it.
Kerry Washington
Never watched it, but heard of
about
it. Yeah.
DC scandals, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so she, in the show, she's always drinking a glass of wine at her place. And she had these long stemmed glasses. And I was fascinated by her long stem glasses. Yeah, I got the storyline, but I was more by her long stem glasses. And I had to look it up. Like I just Googled at the time. This was a while ago. I Googled at the time long stem wine glasses, and Crate and Barrel had them.
Mm-hmm.
So I was in Okinawa at the time and I ordered them and they actually came in and they didn't break. So the little ones are like, I think supposed to be for the white wines, and I have the bigger ones for the reds. So I thought, why not? I'll bust one of these out. So yeah,
Nice.
that's my drink.
Nice. But that's what like it's once you start watching shows enough, you start looking at the background stuff they use. Cause like Mike and Molly, their coffee mugs. I'm like, I want those coffee mugs. Like,
Good advertisement.
right. Yes, but that's the wine that like set off the concept of the subject of today's
Mhm.
podcast because you started talking about that place and this was what just a couple days ago. I'm like, oh, that's what we should do, and I can't wait to hear more about that whole location with kind of start this whole thing off today.
Yeah, so if you haven't tell, we're going to talk about women in the wine industry and
Mm-hmm.
women in whiskey. So wine and
Mm-hmm.
whiskey um and so yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead. Well, I went up to Cottonwood for a couple of days, right? And with a friend of mine, and a lot of places in that town shut down by 5.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't get there
Yep.
till like 4. Um, but one of the places that was open was this place called Tantrum. And I knew in that area, that was actually, I'm going to side pivot for a second. You hear California wine vineyards, right? That pops into your
Mm-hmm.
mind. And I've done that whole thing. I did not know when I moved to Arizona, Arizona really it's wine country out here.
Mm-hmm.
And especially down south and up north.
Mm-hmm.
So Wilcox, Arizona, there's a lot of vineyards up there, and come to find out, a lot of the wine shops, wine tasting rooms in Cottonwood, they grow their stuff out of Wilcox and then get their brand bottled, and then they stand up shop in. There's some in Cottonwood, so you have them
Mm-hmm.
all in those small towns, but Cottonwood. It was my first time there, and actually at the hotel I stayed at, they had all these neat bottles, empty bottles of wine with these neat labels on it. And then that kind of just led us to walk in downtown, and we ran into this place called Tantrum.
Mm-hmm.
And it's woman owned, and she does her own vineyard as well. So she took, like, for example, the Cabernet Sauvignon. They call it the cab. I'm not a cab drinker. And just a disclosure, I am not a whiner, like, connoisseur. I don't I taste it, and I try to put some words to it, but I'm like, tastes
If it
good.
tastes good, it tastes
Great.
good.
I
Yeah.
don't like it, too dry. Just very basic for me. I can't get into all the lingo. But first of all, you walked into this place, and it's all flamingos in the front. It's pink throughout. There's purple chairs. It's really, really cool, feminine vibe to the whole place. And there's this beautiful woman there named Josie. So shout out to Josie, who kind of just really made me and my friend feel at home in the place. And just so the woman's name who owns this is Bridget. And Bridget, you did great by Josie. Josie did really great by you. I'm just gonna shout it out because I actually gave them Athena's listening crew business card and was like, I would love to hear your story. Of course,
And
that
it
was
is,
two glasses in, but yes.
yeah, it was actually really cool because you showed me the photos of this place, and there is pink throughout, but it's not like saturated pink, and it really works really well because I'm not a pink person at all, and I still thought I was like, oh, this looks really cool because it's almost like, to me, it felt like you were still kind of sitting outdoors in a way.
Yes.
Like it was kind of, and I don't even know what words to use with it, but it was still really cool and inviting and cheerful, I guess, in a
Yeah, it was
way.
fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fun.
Like you can't
Yeah.
help but go in and smile. You can be in your worst mood and you can walk in and you can't help but smile. So
Hmm.
that's the vibe of that whole place. And so here it is. It's called
The label.
Tantrum. And she's got these
That's a pretty
really
cool
neat,
label.
yeah. And she names them. So they says Chardonnay, but it's whimsy, you
Hmm.
know. And really, when you drink it, it feels whimsical.
What's she sitting on? So it's a woman on the label sitting on, almost looks like a flying, or what is that?
I don't know what that is. It's like her whole dress, really.
Oh, it's just a dress.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a cool dress she's got
Yeah.
sitting on. She's sitting on.
But isn't
Or
that
it's just
cool?
her. Yeah, that's an awesome label.
Yeah.
Whoever did that label. Whew.
And then I
Okay.
saw a picture of Bridget, and she has kind of like that haircut. So I think it's like a play
Kind of
on
like her.
how she
Yeah.
looks. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's this other one, Cab, and Cab is typically I call it kind of like a masculine wine. It's not that it's just for men. It's just, I know a lot of women who drink it. It's just really heavy to me, and kind
Hmm.
of really dry, and really earthy, which is great for a lot of people because I like Malbec. That's probably as red as I'll go. But this is called
Hmm.
Tilted. This cab though, I drank it and it's like she added her feminine magic to it. And so So she really designs her own taste under that, I don't know, the umbrella of whatever that wine is, whether it's Chardonnay, Pinot Grigio, or Cab.
Hmm.
So I wind up walking out of there with 6 bottles and
Hmm.
joining the wine club. Because I guess they do some fun stuff throughout the year, and you can,
Hmm.
and she owns, what's interesting about her is she owns her own brand, and she's married to somebody who also is in the wine industry, and he owns his own brand. So his cabs and his Pinot Grigios are different. They taste slightly different.
Hmm.
So I thought it was really cool, but they separate. They're like together but separate. So it's kind of
Hmm.
probably like the umbrella of an industry, but they each have different names, and but their wine club is inclusive to being able to hop around between those stores,
Hmm.
get the benefits of it. But I thought that was a really neat like partnership there. But they each have their own things separately, but they're both in the same industry. And then they
I
share some things that are like, say, the wine club, they share that. But I think it's like 4 or 5 different stores that they've got going on.
Yeah, I
Anyway,
would like to find out, talk to her, see if we can get her on, find out more. Because
yeah.
as you were
So
explaining that, I'm like,
I,
that's really cool because you've got a partnership, but not. So that way you can, without the partnership, you can move in that, use your own creativity, move in your own artistic direction you want
yeah,
to go. But then there's still somewhat of a partnership. So on the business side, you guys can come together, brainstorm, what are we doing?
yeah.
How do
But they
we
still
work
have
together?
autonomy over their own,
Autonomy.
yeah,
Yeah,
over their own actual shops and brand.
that's cool.
So I
Yeah.
thought that was a really, really cool concept, and it seems to work. And so, but yeah, so she was. So this is what I was going to bring her at the end of this, but but I was like, why not? Because this is what we started talking about, and
Hmm.
we've been talking about this. But then that spawned this whole idea of, hey, let's just do our Trailblazers and Chasers on this. We did
Hmm.
bring back a long time ago, Cliquot, the French champagne,
Hmm.
Madame Cliquot, who just was really truly a trailblazer in her own right, and kind of just then. And so this is kind of like the modern, like who's all in the front lines now, basically, or have infiltrated. I don't know why. Maybe it's my military background. I'm just sorry. I'm realizing I'm using words from the military. But basically, they have entered, really trailblazing through the wine industry. And
Hmm.
so I'm just going to take it down from my piece of it, the to Arizona. And since we're here in this
Hmm.
state, and I discovered this in Cottonwood, so all throughout this state, um, just going to highlight a few of the women that are really doing it out there, whether they are owning their own shop, they opened it up, and then they wind up supporting actual women winemakers, and those that a couple of the wine who really do from the grapes, from the vine to the bottle, they are in it every step of the way. They are growers and they're bottlers and they run their business. So one of the ones that came up was Genuwine, Genuwine, and they are in downtown Phoenix.
Hmm.
So these two women, I believe they went to Europe. France was probably one of them, and they're teachers. They were teachers in Gilbert. Um, Emily Reeve and Lindsay Shoneman. I'm butchering up their last name, but Emily and Lindsay. So it kind of went from classroom to the cork. That's what I say.
Teachers becoming
Left the
drinkers.
classroom and
Hmm.
into the cork industry, right? So, but what's cool about them is I know when I was growing up, I was kind of, or even entered in the drinking age, I always went to the mixed drinks. Wine, I felt like you had to know something about wine. You had to be, how to smell it, how to gurgle it in your mouth, I don't know, how to speak it. I thought
Hmm.
it was way above me. Um, but what these women have done is, and with these two women especially, they wanted to bring, their intentionality was to bring in a community feel. So it was really, so they decided to just go ahead and open a wine shop, and you go in and you taste and you can purchase a bottle of wine. And what one of them said in an interview I read in an article is we wanted to create a place where people come in and immediately feel welcome. And that's how I felt at Tantrum. That's how I've been feeling at the wine shops that kind of are ran by women or by men who give a very welcoming feel to
Hmm.
the place. And you don't have to know anything about it. It's just about here, taste it. Do you like it? And then if you don't, taste something else. Like they don't make you feel like stupid or dumb for
They're not
coming in.
snobby about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like or you have to be of a
Nice.
certain status to be there.
Hmm.
And so very inclusive feel.
I think that's
Um,
what, not to interrupt.
yeah, no, go
Yeah, of
ahead, go
course to
ahead.
interrupt you, but
This
I
is a
think
chit
that's kind
chat,
of
so yeah, come interrupt me. I
that.
get excited sometimes, so just interrupt.
But I think that word you used now, I just brain farted already. But I think that's what it is because growing up, wine wasn't a huge thing in my family either when I was young. I think by the time I hit my late teens, that's when they really got into wine more. But it was status quo. Wine used to be, what'd you say, a status quo, and I think that's what it is. And now it's an everybody thing. Like,
Yeah, it used to be
and
like
it's
it felt like you had to be of a certain status, like
yeah.
a wealth or
Hmm.
that
So
piece.
awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I remember I think ours was like a jug of Riuniti. I don't know if I'm taking it way back.
Purple Passion,
Yeah, the
Strawberry
box.
Hill.
Actually, box
Um,
wines are making a comeback, but they had like my parents had a perpetual box wine, with the spout at the like a water cooler. But
because
anyway,
yeah, because my
so
parents always had beer and then they had like whiskey and bourbon. That's what was in the house. Like that was
what
so.
I noticed though what got me started drinking actually was when I was in the military and I was in Okinawa and I went to my first wine festival. And really out there is just bringing in all the different wine vendors and they're standing there. But what I noticed about the vibe, because I used to be a hardcore club goer back in the day, but what I noticed about the vibe of the one as I felt like, oh, okay, I'm maturing a bit, is they were all happy. Everybody there was just whimsical.
Hmm.
I remember I turned around with a glass of red wine, y'all, and this lady was wearing white, and
Oh
red
no.
wine on white. She was like, "Oh, honey, don't worry," and she's dab, 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 and walked around with the red spot. And I was like, "I'm gonna get beat up." No, in a club, I would have got beat up. In this wine festival, she's
So,
like, "Don't worry about it, sweetie, it happens." And I was just like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." But what I noticed is people were just chill. They were
hmm.
just lovely, and that's what really attracted me to just move over to the arena. So
If you come to think about, there's less aggression associated with wine than it is with like hard liquors.
maybe because it is truly a social drink.
Yeah.
I mean, in
Hmm.
Europe, that's they have it with their meals. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. So there's that, folks. They are in downtown Phoenix area. Um, there's another one in North Scottsdale, Carpignard Wine Bar and Restaurant. So this is restaurant. So a lot of times with wine, especially, they go to do a pairing, when you hear that, they love to pair with food, right? So a lot of times reds go with like meaty dinners and whites is summery, fruity stuff.
Hmm.
Like I said, I don't know what I'm talking about, but this is what I do. So I'm speaking my language.
Sounding good so far.
So they made it. So this woman, Letty, it's one woman owner, and Letty Ebel, I think, or Ebel in North Scottsdale. So she brought European. A lot of folks they go travel to Europe and they get inspired, but she brought the European elegance. However, with the same time keeping the desert vibe, and then again, same concept. We're going to see a theme here with these women wine owners. She wanted to make it feel where people feel inclusive. They come in, even though it's a European uptick vibe, and she's apparently got really phenomenal food there because it's also a scratch kitchen.
Hmm.
Um, and it's like over 250 bottles of wine she has. You can have, there's all over 40 different wine selections if you wanted just a glass. And the food is excellent. But then again, she also wants that community feel. So she's felt like she's been in, and I've read about her in an article where she just found that starting this, because she was started in 2024, so fairly new, and that she's been embraced by the wine community in Arizona. And so that's what a lot of these, particularly what I keep hearing over and over again is with these women, is that they not only go into the business, they are also seeking out and get supported and support other women, winemakers, wine shop
Hmm.
owners, which I thought was really cool. And then there's a trio out there also in the Phoenix area called Kid Sister. So it's sisters, two sisters, and a friend of theirs partnered up, and Casey and Courtney Lewandowski and their friend Dejanay Lambert. So they do have hospitality backgrounds. Again, bringing a modern European feel. Um, and they also serve food in their wine restaurant area. And for them, what they say was representation really matters. And that they hope Kid Sister feels like a space where both them as a team and the guests, the customers, the clients see themselves reflected and are feel welcomed. So do we see a theme here? It's just
Hmm.
constant theme of this welcome, welcome, welcome feel.
The community. And I think
Yeah,
women are really good at, I don't, we maybe we do it more unconsciously too, just gathering the community around. That's just kind of part of who we are. We want to gather that community around. And I think most things we do, we look at the community. Yeah.
yeah. And so that was the inspiration. Remember the pandemic in 2020,
Hmm.
and that sense of community just broke down, right? So we find ourselves isolated, and it was just all digital at that point, if you were to connect. And so these women called opened up the Turquoise Wine Bar. They have two locations now. In 2022, post COVID, they opened one up in Glendale, and then they just recently opened up last year in downtown Phoenix. So that tells me that they're growing. But they contributed to burning it, opening this up from the COVID pandemic, because they basically said that there was a collective ache that the entire community felt. We couldn't gather, we couldn't celebrate, together, we
Hmm.
couldn't connect. And so they just said, hey, let's just build an antidote to that. And so that's where their place, the Turquoise Wine Bar, came to be. And again, a deliberate focus on women winemakers. So they opened up the shop and they have a deliberate focus on partnering up with women wine makers, the producers of the wine. And so again, there's connectivity there, and there's support, and in this industry, which is heavily male dominated
Hmm.
industry, right? And so
Definitely.
they're breaking through. Um,
I just can't believe, like, because
mhm.
I downtown Phoenix, so they opened up in downtown Phoenix. So quick side note, okay, I'm in my 50s, right? Beautiful 50s. And growing up, I grew up on the border of Tempe and Phoenix. So growing up, downtown Tempe or downtown Phoenix wasn't a thing. It always amazed me when I moved and went to other places like Seattle, Portland, like their downtowns just blew my mind because I didn't think that was a thing. Because growing up, when you went out, you didn't go to downtown Phoenix. There was maybe a few places there. By the time I was 21, there was just a couple. There
Really?
was just really sparse. And so to me, like downtown didn't have a soul. It was just, it was the weirdest thing. You went to downtown Tempe, you went to Mesa, like, or I think Chandler, there was, you went to Scottsdale downtown, not the new Scottsdale, the downtown Scottsdale. So that's where you went and hung out. So they are really growing downtown Phoenix. For those who know it as it now, that's somewhat new. And so that's kind of cool that they're bringing stuff like this, that wine bar, into downtown Phoenix. So I think that's really awesome of them, though. Yeah.
That's interesting perspective, because yeah,
Hmm.
I'm a transplant. I only was here like 7 years ago. So they were already in that direction when I got here. So
Hmm.
that's a really neat history marker that you were able to recognize. I'm always amazed with Arizona natives, because I'm like, you guys have must have seen so much and grown so much because I just saw a boom in just a little bit of amount of
Hmm.
time. And then for you guys who've been here, born here, raised here, see how drastically it's changed. I
Big
was
time.
told this state was off of cotton, citrus, and cattle.
Yes.
That was the
You even like close out next to Tempe Mesa area, still within what we call the valley. It's called the Valley of the Sun, so we call
yeah.
it the valley. There's still cotton fields in town in certain places still, and we still have that. And we are like it's the area has just been blowing up in the last several decades because we would bounce between Las Vegas, like it'd be Chandler, Las Vegas, Gilbert, Las Vegas, then Glendale of like the number one fastest growing city in the US. Like we were like head to head, toe to toe with like Las Vegas for the longest time and
Wow.
how fast we were growing. And it's been nuts. Yeah.
But I,
So.
I I will say I like how it grew here versus Vegas.
And it's really, I mean, really, I think pretty much the same climate zone in a way.
It is. It's so hot in both places. It's scorching.
I was there a couple summers ago and I'm like, yeah, yeah, okay.
Okay, so one more,
Okay.
guys. I know I'm just pummeling, but there's this one that's really I read about and it's really special. Sounds like a really special and deserves a shout out. It's called Vinde Fille. Um in French, so that's why I butchered it up. I'm not a French speaker. It means girls' wine. And it's by three women, Gail, Bree, and Lauren. And what they do is it is an all women operated. So one of those from vine to bottle, it's all women operated. And they also so they're on every step of that production. What they do is most of their profits go directly to Verde Valley Sanctuary, an organization that supports women affected by domestic violence and human trafficking.
Oh, wow.
So check them out. Knowing that if you buy a bottle, when you buy a bottle of one of their Vinde Fille, the girls' wine, you're not just buying wine for yourself, you are funding safety, you are funding freedom, and you are funding a woman's second chance. I thought that was an amazing story.
Oh, wow.
To hear a
Yeah.
little bit about that. They're up in Page Spring Cellars in Cornville. Do you know where that is?
Nope, not a clue.
Okay.
I almost wonder, I'm like, do you even have that right? And the reason I bring that up is, I mean, I'm sure there's still towns in Arizona I've never heard of, even though I've lived here since like mid 70s. But I was watching something on social media about where the soccer teams are, and one of them is here in Arizona in Orange County. And I'm like, when did we get a new Orange County? Did they just move on over? Are we talking West Phoenix? Is that the new Orange County? I'm like, for those who don't know, Arizona only has like 15 counties and none of them are Orange County.
Yeah, Maricopa is like the biggest one that takes up a lot of it.
I
Yeah.
think it's the second
Is it
biggest.
second?
I think
What?
Coconino, I want to say
Oh,
might be
is
the
it?
biggest. I don't
Okay.
know. We've got some big counties, but
Yeah.
anyways, um,
Interesting.
but I know Verde Valley's in the lower, well, we're different areas. Okay, anyways, I have to check them out.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
Um, and then last but not least, um, there is one here in Tucson called Medella Vina Ranch. So it's out in South Houghton Road. So it's a women owned and operated vineyard winery. You can take tours and stuff. So you can take tours all around with these
Hmm.
vineyards. And we have Megan Stranick with her sister Shannon, and we were hoping to get these women in an interview um, before we end our season. But they are the owners of Arizona AZ Hops and Vines down in Sonoita. Did I pronounce that
Sonoida,
right?
Sonoida.
Sonoita. Okay.
It
Sonoita.
took me a while to say that too, because I was like, what? I was like, yeah, Sonoida.
Sonoita. And Megan is a grower. She grows it and produces it. And what's fun, you can check them out on Instagram. They seem to have a lot of fun with their
Hmm.
with their company, their hops and vines. And you see everybody of every walk of life going down there. And just they have, it's just a welcoming, another welcoming environment. They love to show you, teach you. There's no intimidation, there's no watching over your shoulder. They just really have like, come drink this wine with us. We'll tell you about it. Just enjoy yourself kind of vibe. So, yeah, that's pretty much the there's a lot more,
Hmm.
but these been highlighted, these women been highlighted in various articles and stuffs as well, and known for their trailblazing through an industry that's really masculine dominant. So,
Yeah, and AZ Hops and Vines are our sister as well. It's
mhm.
Megan and
Shannon.
Shannon.
Hmm.
Yeah. So
And Megan's
she's
the
sister.
grower, and I think Shannon's came on hop on board, and they partnered up
Yeah.
and run it together. So yeah,
Yeah. That is really cool. Yeah, so we're trying to still get them on. So still communicating with them, hoping to get them on because they seem a lot of fun.
yeah.
So, yeah, and that was part of it. Like when we were talking, you and I, and the subject you were talking about your visit up to Cottonwood, um, which also blew my mind that there's nice stuff up there now because it used to not be back in the day. But they're changing it, which is awesome. But at that same day, I had a client come into my office with a Bow and Arrow Brewing Company t-shirt on. And we have an Air Force base there. So it shouldn't have been that much of a surprise. But in our group that we work, that's where a lot of the transplants, PCS, they come from there. And I was like, and then we've been trying to get them on as well. And I think they're sisters as well, sisters owned. And so I was like, it's a sign. We just need to go down this route. And as we were talking, we also brought up whiskey and like whiskeys, like you don't hear a lot with whiskey. We're starting to find a lot more breweries owned by women, which is really awesome.
Yeah.
But whiskey growing up, it was such a man's drink, right? And I even just looked it up too. I think it's like 35 to 40% of whiskey drinkers are women, even though it's very male dominated. It's marketed towards men. So I actually just Googled and found a few. And let me see, let me get them pulled up. So the ones I have, starting off Lodestar whiskey, not Lone Star, but Lode Lode Star whiskey, and it's out of California, and it was cousins who started this, and they were in the music and film industry. So um, Anna and Wendelin, yeah, Wendelin von Schroeder and Anna Axter. So I was like, this is cool because a lot more started popping up. And it wasn't just that one. The other one I found, which was um, the one out of Nashville, started because they were seeing a lot. One of them, they were seeing a lot more women drinking whiskey, even though it was geared towards men, right?
Yeah.
And so that's the one out, and the one out of, where is it here? The Tennessee is called, it's a weird name because I was like, how do you even pronounce this? I was like, what is this? Happenstance?
Oh,
Happen Stance, not
mhm.
Happy Stance, which would be kind of fun.
Happenstance.
It was
Yeah. I've heard of that
Happenstance.
before. Happenstance. Yeah.
Yes. And the other one, this one popped up, which is really cool. This one's out of Portland, Oregon, and it is all female owned company that is more not just whiskey, but it's more of a distillery. So they've got various different liquors, not
Mm.
just whiskey, but they distill various different things. Um, where did I see that one? They had, okay, I'm just missing everything because I just left all the tabs up and I'm like, I'll find it when I need to. No, of course not, right? But I just thought that was cool that there are women-owned whiskey breweries, wine companies out there that once you start looking, and it's amazing that I know how in our journey with this podcast, so much more is coming to light for me than I ever realized before. Because once you start looking, you do find the women-owned companies, but you have to look for them because they're not the huge, massive companies. Those are all mostly male dominated. But you do find them, and there's a lot of them out there. Just the nicks and crannies. You gotta look
The
in the
nooks
nicks
and
and
crannies,
crannies.
yeah.
Nooks and crannies. That's
Yeah.
where you find them. So,
And that might be the I don't want to say sacrifice, but kind of the exchange because they, with the intentionality of wanting to make it feel cozy and inviting and stuff, I don't think you can go too big, too large, too
hmm,
aggressive.
that's true.
People just, you just set up shop, and a lot of women tend to be like, people who want this will come, they'll find me, and then they'll do their thing. I mean, don't get me
Hmm.
wrong, we found a lot of women who are in the marketing, from the marketing world, or was in the marketing world and went on their own and was like, I am my own great marketer, so they come in and they use various outlets, but it's like, um, but yeah, the fascinating thing about it doesn't surprise me more women are need to come out that they are bourbon whiskey makers, and own their own. Because I found it out being in the in the Air Force, a lot with the women officers. I've
Hmm.
noticed a lot of them do drink. They have a particular taste for bourbon and whiskey,
Hmm.
and my daughter included. And she's not a drinker. I mean, I remember taking her overseas and where it was legal but under 21, and
Hmm.
trying to be like the mom to be the cool mom and introduce, how to drink socially and not be afraid of alcohol. And this is, because I didn't want that whole like, I mean, I come from the era where we just go sneaking and drinking up the bush, and then we don't know what we're doing, and we get drunk and we throw up, and this whole thing, right? This whole taboo thing, like,
Hmm.
but over then more of the European-esque overseas type. No, it is part, and this is how you can incorporate it um safely, and don't overdo it or whatever. But anyway, and she's like, "Oh, mom," and I tried it with a cool like sweet drink like pina colada. And she's like, "I don't want that." But when she joined, and she's an officer now, it was just, I giggled inside when she's like, "Yeah," she goes, "I had me and it was some type of whiskey or some type of bourbon with her dinner that she went out with." And I was like, "Oh, she's such an officer."
Because
But I thought it was really cool because one of the lady women officers I really liked, she was like teaching me about bourbon, what she looked for, what's the taste and all that stuff. And I thought that was quite fascinating. I thought it was
I
cool.
w I would like to do whiskey bourbon tasting for, especially on the higher end, to see kind of the difference. I have had a little curiosity with that, like, and yeah, yeah, it's a curiosity. But I also want to know, like, I wonder how much of the behavioral imprint I had growing up is going to negate that. Like,
Mhm.
because growing up, my mom's a bourbon drinker and she drinks rock bottom bourbon stuff. Like, she doesn't care. She likes bourbon, right? So she drinks any
Yeah.
kind of bourbon. So she'll get whatever, she's got one or two brands that she really likes. But growing up, I always had like chest colds or I'd be coughing, right? And here in Arizona, I've got asthma, and that happened a lot in February and March. And so I'll be coughing in the middle of the night, and she dragged me out to the kitchen and give me a half a shot of her bourbon or whiskey, what they had. So I grew up associating that stuff to being
Medicinal.
sick.
It's medicinal.
And even as an adult, if I'm coughing too much, I'll try to keep something on hand and I'll go take a shot because that's what helped calm down the coughing.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I totally get it. It was like, oh,
hmm,
you have it warms up your chest, I guess, too.
hmm,
Like,
yes, it
I
does.
remember my aunt long, long time ago, and she was like, she goes, my mom used to rub whiskey on our gums when we were teething
Hmm.
because it helps numb it. And I was like, oh, okay. So it is kind of medicinal. Women use it as a medicinal thing. So,
Because that stuff was found in cough medicines, like back in the day.
They
Like,
have
yeah.
alcohol, I mean, and
Hmm.
NyQuil and all that, right? So it makes sense.
So, but yeah, so I just thought, oh, that was interesting. So,
I
okay.
would love to go to a bourbon tasting or whiskey tasting that's owned by a woman, made by a woman, because I bet you I would wind up liking it.
Hmm. I wonder if
They probably
there,
would add some kind of, I don't know, something to it that just was more, for me, tame and smooth. So I don't know.
brands in Arizona.
Just
Let's see if they have something in Arizona. I guess we might have to go out of state.
because I know Sedona has a tasting, but I don't know if, I don't think it's by women.
Oh, there's Carefree. Oh, Carefree's clear north of Scottsdale, though. But there's Carefree
Oh,
Spirits Distillery, and in Tucson, we'll have to look this up. There's a Whiskey Del Bach in Tucson.
okay.
Uh, in this, yeah, it's this northern desert. Where exactly? Oh, but it's co-founded with her father,
Okay. But
father-daughter. That's kind
still,
of cool.
but that's still
Okay,
cool. Oh, that's cool though. You usually hear husband and wife, but father, daughter, that's neat. I like it.
talk about bonding time. Okay,
She's probably like, Dad, we can market this. We can make this into a business.
so we might have to check them out. Where are they?
Yeah, I
Whiskey
totally
Del
be
Bach?
down with that.
Whiskey Del Bach. Tucson, where it's off of the freeway and Grant, south of Grant.
Okay. That's not too far from here.
Yeah, so it's just north of downtown
Okay.
of, of the downtown area.
All right,
Hmm.
Renee.
All right.
We got a venture to go on.
Okay.
Guys, we might
Yes.
make a short out of it too.
Yeah, I think we need to. We've got the mics. We should just go.
Yeah.
Not this upcoming weekend, maybe the weekend after. We should totally
Yeah,
do that.
it
We need
should.
to get out more anyways,
Yeah.
because I was just thinking, was it yesterday? I really miss happy hour. Like I went through the phase in my 20s. You hit the bar scene, you go dancing, the clubbing scene, and then in your 30s, you're like, happy hour was the thing in Phoenix, like Arizona. It was you went to happy hour, the foods were cheap, like the drinks were half off, kind of. And then you got done at 7. You're like, okay, I'm going to bed now. You're like, I'm going home and rest. But I miss that community of the happy hour. You just go out and you hang out with several people
Yeah.
and you just chit chat. And it wasn't super expensive. And like
No.
it was some
That's
basic
what I
stuff,
did with
but
Kaya
still.
Tepa last Friday. I was like,
Yes.
yeah, I could do this.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
So we'll have to check out that whiskey Del Bach place.
okay. Sounds good.
Yeah. Sweet.
So
All
yeah, we
right.
just thought we'd share, like, as usual, stuff me and Renee talk about, and then we're like, let's talk about
Oh, and we are still looking at one. I want to hone in on women in tech industries as well.
it.
So if you guys know a woman-owned company in a tech industry, shoot us a message through Instagram or email us at
Yeah,
athenaslisteningcrew@gmail.com because I want to hit the tech industry too.
yeah. The tech industry, the trade industry,
Mm-hmm.
like automobile, the automotive, the auto repair
Industry.
shops, um, where
AC, yeah.
there's a lot of, we know you guys are out there, so we would just love to make space and clear the way so you can come on and tell your story. So please reach out to us at Athena's Listening Crew at gmail.com or message us. We are on YouTube and all where you listen podcasts at.
Awesome. Gonna
All
finish this drink and rest for
right.
the rest of the day and get ready for
Happy
the week.
Sunday.
Happy Sunday.
Stay cool, man.
All right.
All right,
Till
guys.
next time, guys and
Till next
ladies.
time. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.